What's up guys? This is gonna be my second tier list video for Sosuke Aizen, the Giga Chad, the Menace. But honestly guys, this video took me about 4 hours to edit, so please let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section below. And yeah, just if you guys haven't, please like, comment, and subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, just sit back and relax and enjoy the video. Thanks. Starting off, we have the original OG Mind Sosuke Aizen. Now, I actually tested this character out just to see how good he was, and this guy is borderline unplayable, which makes sense because he's one of the first characters to ever come out. I checked the BBS simulator site, and his album ID is 1. So the latest characters to ever come out is Sarushi with Giselle and Zombie Vampietta, and her album ID is 3510. So yeah, just let that sink in. But anyways, it took me about a few minutes to clear the Link Saw Trials, which actually isn't even that bad, but if anything, it's more of an inconvenience. Honestly, I can't even talk about his strong attacks because they are so atypical with what we see today. I don't even know how you would even describe his first 2 strong attacks. His third one is basically a shaved range collision strong attack, which is actually terrible because of how long it takes to cast it, the hitbox of it, and honestly, it would be a miracle if you could even hit more than your enemies with it. So safe to say, I think this guy belongs in the D tier. Next, we have version 1 of White Day Aizen. So this character is kind of fun to play. His second and third strong attacks are very unique. First strong attack is a delayed lunge forward. Second, he's just throwing flowers at you, and the third is kind of like a shaved strong third attack with a very bad range. Honestly, I can see this character being somewhat decent if his skills were better. This guy does not have Frenzy nor Havoc, and so all he really has to work with is a Mirror Berserker 40%. So in terms of usability, I would definitely say he's better than the original Mind Aizen, but not by much. So I'm gonna be putting this guy in the D tier, slightly above the OG Mind Aizen. Next, we have one of the coolest forms of Aizen, the Hokkyū Fusion version of Aizen, when he fought against final Getsuga Tensho Ichigo. So I remember when he first came out, everyone was hyped out of their minds. I remember I was still in high school during this time, and the hype was crazy. However, his resurrection was really bad, and this little bro is rocking 5 skills, and none of them include Frenzy. So if you look at his gameplay, it's actually really cool and unique. His third strong attack would actually be pretty insane if he did have Frenzy, and would probably dismantle waves if used properly. Honestly, this guy's gameplay would actually stand to the test of the time, but his skills are so bad it brings him down multiple tiers. The range and AoE of all his strong attacks are actually really good, but not having Frenzy is unacceptable. Regardless, I think this guy is still C tier, and maybe with the new character upgrades that K-Lab is cooking or planning, he might actually be usable in the foreseeable future, because the main thing bringing him down is his lack of damage, and that comes from not having Frenzy. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Frenzy Aizen is one of the few free-to-play units that came out back in the early days when K-Lab started releasing them. Unfortunate that they stopped releasing Frenzy units. That means less orders for us, but it is what it is. But anyways, back on topic. Frenzy Aizen's first strong attack is horrendous, straight out worse than Final Battle Aizen, and Frenzy Aizen's third strong attack is just a call. And basically, Frenzy Aizen's third strong attack is more or less just a copy of Final Battle Aizen's second strong attack, which is the Kuda Hitsuki. I do like his second strong attack. It's similar to the original Gunjout that came out, but at the end of the day, Frenzy Aizen is just a bootleg version of Final Battle Aizen. As a matter of fact, they actually have almost identical skills, which is kind of funny. And just for those reasons, I'm putting him in the C tier, but slightly worse than the Final Battle Aizen that I just reviewed. Senkaimon is probably the most playable units out of all the Senkaimon characters. The one word I would use to describe him is the word aura. So this man is the very definition of aura. I'm not even kidding. His first strong attack is literally him walking up and killing everything around him with his aura and special pressure. How many characters in the game have something like that? His second and third strong attacks have ridiculous ranges, both of them being almost entirely full screen. The crazy part is that he doesn't even have Havoc, and his second and third strong attacks are almost like, destroying the entire screen. So, anyways, his main issue with him are essentially his stats and skills, and that comes from the fact that he's a free-to-play unit. The only skill that actually makes him somewhat usable and relevant is Berserker 60%. And honestly, I do wish this guy has Frenzy, but he doesn't, so that really sucks. But the good side about this is that because of the fact that he's a free-to-play unit, you could get him 5 out of 5 pretty easily, as long as you keep playing the game. So I'll probably put him in the B tier because of the fact that he's lacking so many skills. But honestly, you could maybe you could put him in the A tier if you have him max transcended with SP 500 and level 20 link stop potions. But who knows? Maybe you can put this guy in the S tier because he's got so much aura. So who knows?
少し試してみるとしよう。今の君の目には何が見えているのかな。
So I'm very biased against NAD units because I find them boring to play for the most part, but I think Parasol Aizen has some of the coolest strong attacks in the game, in my opinion, in terms of visuals and animations. Main issue with this character is that he is missing Flurry and Guard Break, and I feel like those two reasons are enough to stop him from being put in the A tier. I just think he's going to be very inconvenient to play and use in order to clear content. That's exactly why I feel like he belongs in the B tier.
そろそろ私の冷圧に耐えられなくなってきた頃か。
I did a showcase of this Aizen a year ago, and there's really nothing bad I can say about this character besides his second strong attack, which is a crawling vortex. Personally, not a fan of that, but his first and third strong attacks are really nice, and I think they more than make up for it. So he has Frenzy +1 and Havoc 20%, which are good enough given how this unit came out in 2018, with the special direction happening last year in 2023. Don't really have anything bad to say about this unit besides his second strong attack, so I'm putting this guy in the A tier. Fourth Fusion Butterfly Aizen is one of the units to stand the test of time in my opinion. His enhancer of plus 10 seconds for his second strong attack booster makes him an actual menace. If you build him with full strong attack recharge, he could actually have a boost the entirety of a run, which is why when he first came out, people were shocked with how strong and overpowered he was. Essentially, the guy hits like a truck, despite being a character released in 2017 with a resurrection date of 2021. So I'm putting him in the A tier, and I think he's actually better than the power third Fusion Aizen just because of his boost, which I'm pretty sure actually makes him do more damage.
冷圧で一息に押しつぶす。波動の99、五竜点滅。
When the original 1000-year Blood War Aizen first got released, people were hyped, but then they saw his third strong attack and it kind of became a meme. So this character is honestly very fun to play, but his third strong attacks is almost kind of like a nuisance and more or less an inconvenience. He doesn't really have anything going on for him besides his third strong attack. He has a standard Berserker of 20% with Frenzy +1 and Havoc as his innate skill, but other than that, some of his skills don't really make much sense. For example, why does he have Last Ditch Survival 100% instead of something like increased chance to inflict weakening to hollows or something like that? And it's kind of weird too because he already has Sharp Barrier +10, so it's like, does he really need that extra protection or like the extra Last Ditch Survival 100%? It doesn't make sense. Regardless, I'm gonna put him in the B tier. But honestly, he's probably the best out of all of the B tier units. I think it's just really the fact that I dislike how his third strong attack is used. I think on the contrary, I think it would be a cool mechanic if you could like charge it up to the max and then he gets like an extra soul bomb, kind of similar to how Yuha gets the soul bomb if he's able to kill X amount of enemies. I mean, something like that would be cool. But I mean, it is what it is. This character is pretty old, but he's an OG, so B tier.
耐え難い天の座の空白も終わる。これからは私が天に立つ。
Fierce Battle Technique Aizen was released in 2020, and honestly, this guy has some really cool mechanics with his soul bomb allowing him to transform, allowing his strong attacks to reset. So his first strong attack is his biggest weakness since it's range collision. Also, this guy is missing Havoc, which is kind of dumb, but nonetheless, he's still a good unit because he has Frenzy +1, Berserker 60% on top of the damage inflicted at full stamina 16%, with his strong attack giving him a barrier. So he can clear through rooms pretty easily because, like I mentioned before, his special allows him to reset his strong attacks. I think for all those reasons, I think this guy belongs in the A tier. Unfortunate that he is a mid-month character and that they didn't give him, what do you call it, Havoc for his resurrection. But he's still a good unit, so I think A tier makes sense. I don't really need to go into the specifics here. This guy is an easy S tier. He came out 4 years ago, and he's used for so much content even to this day, such as Go Quest, Senkaimon, pretty much any content out there, any difficult content out there. And I think the big reason for this is because he has Frenzy +2 on top of the plethora of skills. He also has, such as Sharpshooter, damage inflicted at full stamina to 20%, and also the fact that this guy can easily heal up if he gets hit because of his drain. And like I mentioned before, you see people still using this guy for Go Quest and any other difficult content out there. And I think at this point in time, most people probably have this guy maybe 2 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 because of the fact that he came out pretty much in like 4 years ago. So yeah, anyways, I think Frenzy +2 is the standard for what makes a unit last for the next 4 years, and it's really good that he has it.
僕のことを何も知らずにいてくれてありがとう。そしてさようなら。
Next, we have Sosuke Aizen, the past version. Now, this guy is a mid-month unit, so he doesn't have Havoc, unfortunately. His killer is Squad 0, which also makes him very niche and not very useful outside of Go Quest. He only has Frenzy +1, but he does have SP 80% and a crap ton of skills, such as Berserker 40%, damage inflicted at full stamina 20%, and full stamina only increase strong attack damage 40%. And this more or less makes him a Juggernaut. I think the main issue here is that he doesn't have anything to actually increase the chance of him inflicting drain on his enemies, so it's actually very hard to proc the 80% SP. I think, regardless, I think he's still a very good unit, and I'll rank him in the A tier.
さようなら。幻だと思うのかい。確かめてみるといいよ。君のその瞳でね。
This character is pretty nice. He has Guard Break with Flurry +1 on top of an increase in AD of 90%, with 30% coming from Soul Trait and 60% from Bruiser. So this character was mostly designed for Guild Quest, but honestly, because of the fact that he has Guard Break and he can be used for most content, I personally don't really enjoy using this guy. But he's obviously a very good unit, so I'm just gonna put him in A tier, though I don't really think I use him that often, so it is what it is. 一体いつから強化水月を使っていないと錯覚していた。 The long-awaited Fierce Battle Aizen. It was only a matter of time before we got him, and honestly, his skills are actually very similar to the Past Aizen in the sense that they both have innate 40% full stamina only increased strong attack damage. But I do think the difference between this Aizen and the Past Aizen is that this one is more of a nuke, whereas they really focus on his they basically focus on his soul bomb doing the damage because he has a lot of skills designed around his soul bomb damage. I don't really understand the idea behind that because he only gets one soul bomb anyways. He's not like Yuha where he gets like where after he kills X amount of enemies, he gets another soul bomb. So I'm not exactly sure the idea behind this. But he does have Havoc 20%, which is really nice. His gameplay is very basic. I think in terms of animations, this guy looks like a 2017 character, which is kind of unfortunate because this is probably one of his most iconic forms where he was dumpstering the captains in Kadoku to town. I would say he's a very solid A tier character, but I don't think it would be fair to put him in the S tier.
舐められては困るな。波動の九州、黒棺。
Finally, we see the best for last. We have version 2 of 1000 Euro Blood War Aizen, the Agony version. I saved him for last because this guy is an actual Giga Chad. Spoilers ahead, I just finished watching the 3rd episode of 1000 Year Blood War Core 3, and this guy just one-shots this guard that was trying to restrain him after Shunsui freed him. And this guy is so overpowered that they can't even restrain him after he gets partially freed, so crazy stuff. This guy's just an absolute menace. Anyways, back to the game. This guy has a very unique kit because even though he's a NAD character, I think the game actually encourages you to use strong attacks because of the gauge effect and the booster that he has on top of the 80% status element attack boost. And pretty much all of his strong attacks, I think besides the second, allows him to inflict a status ailment. So essentially this makes him a very fun normal attack damage character, and he kind of hits like a truck because of all these skills. His normal attack string also comes out very fast, so he can actually speed you difficult content very easily. I think for all these reasons, I think he belongs in the S tier.